So we're ready with match one. In the sort of Washington Redskin colored shirt, Andy Neuer, a left-hander from Milton, Pennsylvania, 27 years old, won 4 regional titles.
Well, an inauspicious start, Chris. In the last couple of years, they have really struggled on the championship pair, 59 and 60 here at the Showboat. And Andy Neuer starts off with some major problems here. The 2-4-7-10 split. Get the ball to the left of the two pin and drive it into the 10.
Nearly. Devastating open frame in the very first. And stepping in now, Hugh Miller. He's 6 titles, one of the 35 in today's field. Okay, beautiful shot. 1990, he was 5th here in Las Vegas at the Showboat Lanes.
Hugh Miller, kind of one of the secrets of professional bowling. He was an erratic player up until he was 30 years old, and he's 36 now. But since he has turned 30, he's had a phenomenal 70% cash rate on the PBA Tour, and that's experience paying off and a good conditioning.
So now he'll be faced with that situation on the left lane as we replay, Bo, that last shot.
Well, both the southpaws going high on the left-hand lane. You noticed how low Hugh Miller looked towards the foul line. He spots right down at the foul line. We've worked with the dots and arrows in past weeks. Hugh Miller looks right at the foul line.
Beautifully done. Well, extra hard beater too, but that's the way these professionals, you see that happen so often, able to convert. Now, let's see if this non-winner, Andy Neuer, can bounce back after first opening frame. Good. That'll help, won't it, Bo?
Well, that'll loosen him up, Chris. He gets a good break crossing over, and Neuer is just a kind of a solid player out here all the time. He has a pretty ideal style. Watch how he pushes the ball out to the left, but then he gets it a little bit behind his back, but keeps the ball so close to his right leg as he comes through. He just didn't quite have the ball speed on that. Andy, when he was bowling very well during the week, kept the ball speed up. Has to be aggressive.
My, oh my.
Well, once again, trouble on the left-hand lane. Now, in previous years, we haven't had many left-handers in the championship round. The righties have always struggled on the right-hand lane. You see the lefties struggling on the left-hand lane. The 3-7, get the ball to the right of the 3, drive it into the 7.
Wow. We're getting our early tips of the week, Nelson.
They need to make an adjustment tip, get that ball in the pocket, because you can't make those splits forever. Now Hugh Miller leads by 11.
Beautiful, powerful strike by Hugh Miller. Hugh elaborated earlier on a special hobby experience. Hugh?
Well, every summer, the unlimited hydroplanes come to Lake Washington in Seattle, and I really enjoy taking pictures and video. This summer, I just happened to get a video of a very spectacular accident. It was used on television, the local affiliate, and ESPN used it, and the local TV announcer, Steve Rabel, told me that I was in the wrong profession, so maybe I'll change careers one of these days.
Well, come and see Jack Cronin up here on one of our cameras, and he's the world's best, so you know you, see Jack.
Interesting shot there, both off the lanes of the hydroplane accident and Hugh Miller's shot there. He made the adjustment on the lane for the high shot in the second frame, moved to the right on the approach and hit a light, broke down the 5-6-10, gets an easy spare.
Okay, we're in Las Vegas. There are high elevations in this area. A panoramic view of nearby Lake Mead. Look. Our very first match is nearing a halfway point, and Hugh Miller has an 11-10 lead on Andy Neuer. This is Andy, excuse me, on the right lane.
Andy just completely lost, and he has never really done extremely well in the championship rounds. He's 3-4 record with a 203 average, and that's not going to get you any titles. He has to think his way through this early going in this match and not get too far behind.
Sustained influenza earlier in the week, and it's really had an effect on him, but he said that with each round he seemed to get stronger, but maybe some of the effects showing here today. Andy Neuer needed a sponsor a few years ago, and here's how he got one.
I was kind of fortunate. I was practicing one day, and Steven, my sponsor, seen me practicing, and he come up and asked me if I ever needed any money to let him know. And we started in a regional program, and I won a couple regionals, and we came on the national tour. And I made a couple shows, and so far been holding my own.
I like that, somebody coming up to you and saying, do you need any money, Bo?
That's it. Well, I'd go to you first, partner.
I know. All right. But Andy is really a neat guy, 27 years old. Hugh Miller is a real veteran of 14 years, 6 PBA titles. That was a 5th frame shot with a spare working.
Well, once again, we see some players struggling on the championship round here in Las Vegas. Hugh Miller playing an inside line, throws the ball a little bit hard. The 3-5-9 spare. The key pin, the 9 pin. Avoid the chop of the 3 off the 5 and take out the 9.
Hugh's been on a lot of telecasts. This is his 20th, and you probably heard me talk in the past about his grandmother, Stella Urquhart, who has a historic ranch outside of Great Falls, Montana. Part of the Lewis and Clark journey on the Missouri River happened there, and Mr. and Mrs. Red Urquhart are in person here in the audience, Bo, watching their nephew bowl away.
And doing quite well, as he has a 26-pin lead through 5 frames. Well, for the folks at home that hear us talk about 9 300s this week at the Showboat, and then all of a sudden we come on the air and they have this type of bowling that you could almost find in league play, the only real explanation is this championship pair, Chris, year after year, has not yielded scores for a number of years, and it looks like it's going to happen despite the left-handers today.